Alrighty, y'all. Good evening to y'all. January 13th, 2025. This is our second video for today. If you guys were listening to this morning's video, I said I was going to start posting two videos, one in the morning, one in the evening, now to kind of give you guys some more updates on weather stuff that's going on across the world. I want to start doing that more and getting you guys more engaged with everything. And then just instead of just one video that lasts all day long. So there'll be a second video as long as we're not having live stream coverage in the afternoon for anything, any extensive live stream coverage. I will have a second video kind of around the dinner time hour between 5 and 7 p.m. Central Time. So we're going to talk about more on the fire side of things, and we'll do an update on what the models are showing. We'll do more of the GFS model run tonight since that's the only model that's updated since this morning's video. So I'll go ahead and get to the fire side of things. We are still seeing those PDS red flag warnings in effect here for portions of the Los Angeles County area and to portions of just southwestern California here in general. Those are going to be in effect until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then they'll get reissued until afternoon of Wednesday. So we'll do another live stream tonight. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about the cold, everything else coming in, etc. But this is the main event through this week is those red flag warnings, those PDS red flag warnings. But basically means it's a particularly dangerous situation. It's the highest type of warning that you can get in this situation issued by the National Weather Service. So if you are under those, clearly no burning, be very, very mindful. Embers from all of these other fires will be basically flying around with the winds that'll be coming in tonight and through the next couple of days. So those can catch things on fire. Grass, our dew points, our relative humidity are going to be well in the 10 to 15 percentile. So that basically means anything can ignite with embers that do fall in areas. So I do expect there to be more fires, sadly, that will probably pop up over the next couple of days. Hopefully that's not the case, but just when you have these conditions that are very, very dry, you have 50 to 70 mile an hour winds, wind gusts, I should say. The sustained winds will be about 30 to 40 miles per hour. This typically allows for significant fire danger. And like I said, this goes from basically Santa Maria through Santa Barbara, Oxnard, Santa Clara, Santa Clarita, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Riverside. This goes basically down through Interstate 5 and into 15 here and down towards San Diego. And so we still have that extreme fire outlook, critical and elevated. This will be in place through today. This will be in place through tomorrow. And then we'll start to wane this system down just slightly on Wednesday before conditions get a little bit better on Thursday and Friday. So we'll touch more again on this on the live stream tonight as well. But I wanted to give you guys an update on that. We also have some winter weather advisories that are still ongoing back up here into portions of Michigan and into, we actually got a winter storm watch that's in effect over here for outside of the Erie area here in New York and into Pennsylvania due to the fact that we have a little bit of moisture that's being allowed to kind of stay in place here over portions of the Great Lakes from a little clipper system that moved through Wisconsin and Minnesota and Michigan over the last, I'd say, 34 to 72 hours. So we can clearly see Buffalo getting some lake effect snow. Got a little bit of leftover snow falling here in over here towards western Michigan, Lansing, Kalamazoo area. Snowflakes potentially flying near Sterling Heights, Detroit, Michigan, and then back up here into Toronto, Canada, London, Canada, Hamilton. And then you get those alerts that are down here towards Cleveland, Erie, and outside of Buffalo for lake effect snow. We actually had a snow squall mesoscale discussion earlier this afternoon as well for that snowfall. But most of this system will be moving its way out from the northeast and we'll have more of a quieter pattern. We do expect a very quiet pattern for majority of the work week this week, Monday through Friday. We won't be seeing any systems coming across Canada or from the West Pacific until we get towards Saturday and Sunday, where we'll have an upper level low that'll basically develop over the central plains. Once again, this is that fire outlook for the rest of tonight. We've got that extreme, critical, and elevated area over here on the west portions of California. No changes to that forecast. The day 2 outlook for tomorrow also looking at extreme, critical, and elevated. The next 72 hours, guys, like I said, is going to be very, very critical to what happens in California with the weather conditions, and we'll be monitoring this. We'll be doing videos, we'll be doing live streams about this. So if you are in those areas, send this out to people that you know that they can get that information. And there's not a lot of people that are covering this properly, so we will be doing that. The second thing we're going to go to the 18Z GFS run. Not a lot of things changed, but we're starting to see more of a trend towards maybe more of an active severe weather pattern potentially as we go towards the end of January. That's something I talked about in the last video. Anytime we look at models, though, guys, anything that's more than 7 to 10 days out, take it with a grain of salt. We look at it, we kind of diagnose what the pattern is going to be. We know we're going to be locked in this Arctic blast pattern for the next couple of days, really for the next week or two. And we can clearly still see we've got a northwesterly flow that is coming here out of Canada. This will continue to dip down into the central portions of the United States. We're going to watch for a low pressure system still on Friday and Saturday that could develop here to give us a little isolated severe weather setup, maybe into Louisiana, East Texas, Mississippi, along the Gulf Coast there. Nothing extremely crazy, just be like a marginal risk if something like that, maybe a slight risk potentially. And then we start to see that vertical jet stream dipping down out of Canada, and this is going to allow for what could be the coldest air in many, many, many years for lots of people here in the central United States, the southern United States, southeast, the mid-Atlantic, the northeast. Basically east of the Rocky Mountains is where this cold air is going to basically stay, and it'll stay in place for a good 10 days once this comes in next Saturday and Sunday. And we can clearly see rounded trough here can allow for that cold air. And as long as we've got this northwesterly flow coming out of Canada, it's going to allow for that cold air to stay in place. And this is really in place at least until the 27th or 28th of January. And then we start to see maybe some more troughing that could start to develop off the West Pacific for maybe some severe weather potential setups. And now we'll go back and we'll look at the GFS model run here for our precip type. This just kind of gives us the idea of where we're going to see the rain, the snow, and currently right now, not seeing anything through this week. Could see some isolated showers off the coast of Texas and Louisiana, maybe on Wednesday and Thursday. But we do see an organized low that tries to develop with some rain, basically from the Ohio Valley down here towards the Ozarks in the southeast on Friday and Saturday. Maybe more of a localized, isolated severe weather threat on Friday night into Saturday afternoon across the Gulf Coast down there towards the panhandle of Florida. Isolated snow showers look very possible up into the northern portions of the Ohio Valley. So Ohio, the Mid-Atlantic, North Carolina, maybe getting into, or I should say Western North Carolina, for West Virginia here, getting up into Michigan and into the Great Lakes again, something we'll watch out for. And then behind that front comes our extremely cold Arctic blast that we're going to be continuing to talk about for days and days and days. Sorry guys, if you guys can hear, we have our cat in the background, so you might hear him meowing just a little bit. But that cold air will be in place, like I said, at least through mid of next week before we start to see that high pressure move off to the east. But through the following week right now, we're still not seeing a winter storm. And the Gulf of Mexico is liking the idea of keeping that moisture off land in the Gulf, which would allow maybe for a low pressure system that could develop at some point, maybe a little bit of snow along the beaches, just something to monitor. But as of right now, we're not seeing any significant trends that are showing significant winter storm as of right now. The Euro doesn't really show it. The GFS doesn't really show it as of right now. So just something that we're going to have to watch pattern recognition wise. And then as we go past that point, maybe something bigger down the road as we get closer towards the end of January. So I'll also give you guys an idea as well as the temperature plots, what we could see. These are going to be the air temperatures that we could see. This is a model run, so this is going to vary, but as soon as tomorrow, -20, -30 degrees below zero up in the Dakotas, up into Minnesota, we're going to clearly still have those 20-degree temperatures, but we start to see a little bit of a warming trend ahead of this trough that comes in. We'll start to see some 50s and some 60s down into Texas, Oklahoma on Thursday night and Friday. And then we start to see that cold air come in on Saturday and Sunday. And this blasts the whole entire United States, guys. The only portions of the United States that are going to not be in this is going to be like southeastern extreme Florida. And that's normal for them. They don't usually get that cold, but we'll start to see those below zero temps really get going into next week past the 20th, where we have that higher chance of seeing those below average temperatures back up here, -28 degrees. If these models are right going into next week up in like North Dakota, Minnesota, you guys are used to this stuff. So, down here we've got single digits as far as Kansas, Nebraska, Kentucky, Tennessee here getting into those below zero temps, possibly as far as West Virginia into Pennsylvania. So something we've really got to watch. Frostbite does set in 5 to 10 minutes when you're around that 0 degree to 10 degree Fahrenheit threshold. So be very, very mindful of that. We'll get into more of this as we go closer to this, but continuing to see these Arctic blasts move down at least through the middle portion and the end of January before we start to see maybe a retrieve into what could be average temperatures by the time we get to the end of January and February. So that's what I've got for you guys. Remember, like I said, 2 videos during the day now, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. As long as we're not doing an extensive live stream coverage, there will be those, so look out for both of those videos. A lot of you guys were requesting more videos, so I wanted to go ahead and start doing that as we are in January. New goals, new things. As far as TikTok goes here and all my other social platforms that watch this video, we will continue to do this. Once we get the official decision on what happens with TikTok, we'll go from there, but I do plan to post on everything as well as live streams. So I do appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Bundle up. It's going to be another cold night. And we'll see you guys in the live stream tonight.